On Easter Monday, April 17, 1876, 6 Fenian prisoners escaped from this jail in Fremantle, West Australia. At the time, it was in effect the largest open-air prison in the world, with thousands of kilometres of ocean on one side and thousands of kilometres of Australian bush on the other. The rescue attempt was planned 2 years previously after one of the prisoners, James Wilson, sent a letter to the leader of the Fenians in New York, John Devoy. Wilson, along with 4 other prisoners, had been a British soldier who joined the Fenians. After the Fenian Rebellion of 1867, they were sentenced to penal servitude for life. Wilson wrote to Devoy, "Dear friend, remember this is a voice from the tomb, for is this not a living tomb?" The rescue attempt was the culmination of an extraordinary journey which began 20,000 kilometres away in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The Catalpa, a refitted whaling ship, left New Bedford on April the 27th, 1875. Her journey took her from the Azores around the Cape of Good Hope, finally arriving in the western Australian port of Bunbury on March the 28th, 1876, 2 months later than scheduled. On the morning of the 17th, the 6 men were picked up in horse traps and they travelled 20 kilometres south to the port of Rockingham, where a rowing boat waited to pick the men up. But the rescue nearly ended in disaster. A Royal Navy ship, the Georgette, pursued the Catalpa twice. It fired a warning shot across the bow of the Catalpa and ordered it to surrender. When all seemed to be lost, Captain George Anthony raised this American flag above the Catalpa. He warned the captain of the Georgette that if he fired on the Catalpa, that he would be creating an international incident. It would, in effect, be a declaration of war on the United States. The Georgette returned to port and the Catalpa returned to New York 3 months later.
So Captain George Anthony, he had kept this flag for a good 20 years in his possession until he gave it over to Clan Gael in Philadelphia in 1896. And Clan Gael kept it with them until about 1972, when it was returned to Ireland via a man called Joe Clark. And from there it came into the National Museum of Ireland, and it's been with us ever since. And this is the first time that we've managed to put it on public display because, as you can see, the size of it makes it almost impossible to display in the normal way that we would put flags out on display. But for the anniversary, we knew that this is a very special occasion and we really wanted the public to be able to come and see it.
The 6 men involved returned to a hero's welcome in New York. Their escape made international news and remains today not only the greatest prison escape in Irish history, but one of the greatest prison escapes in history.